Caregiving can sometimes feel like an impossible struggle. Caregivers may be torn between taking care of loved ones and trying to maintain balance in life. The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. The Caring Generation with host Pamela D. Wilson is here to focus on the conversation of caring. You're not alone. In fact, you're in exactly the right place to share stories and learn tips and resources to help you and your loved ones. So now, please welcome the host of The Caring Generation, Pamela D. Wilson.
I'm Pamela D. Wilson, caregiving expert, speaker, consultant, and guardian of the Caring Generation. Thank you for joining me for this week's show, episode 222, Family Caregiving Strategies, Putting an Elderly Parent in a Care Home. Before jumping into this week's topic, please, if you find this podcast helpful, click the like or follow button on your podcast app and take a minute to add a positive review. Your likes, follows, and reviews help the Caring Generation podcast grow and reach more listeners seeking solutions related to health, financial, legal, and complicated family caregiving matters. Caregivers ask, is it right to put a parent in a care home against their wishes? The obvious answer is that it depends on whether family caregiving strategies were discussed prior to or at the time elderly parents began to need care. Some caregivers place their parents in assisted living, memory care, or a nursing home after a lot of thought, and others make the decision right away. In either situation, sons, daughters, or spouses can feel guilty about putting a parent or a spouse in a care home against their wishes. When considering family caregiving strategies for moving a loved one into a care home, it's important and practical to consider both sides of the issue, from the caregiver's perspective and the perspective of the elderly parent. Honestly, I don't know many elderly parents who want to leave their home for a care home if they can still take care of themselves at home. So the first consideration and question to ask, specific to family caregiving strategies, is, can your elderly parent live alone at home without any assistance? How about with a little assistance? While most people don't like to think about retirement and dealing with health problems, this is a reality. If your parent wants to stay at home, then a family caregiving strategy to help them stay at home is necessary. Do parents have the money to pay for in-home care? What are they willing to do to stay physically strong and able? Most people dream of retirement combined with enjoyable activities. While this happens for some, many lives are derailed by ongoing or unplanned health problems. So, regardless of your age, what are you doing today and every day to make sure your health is good, your body is physically strong, and your mind is positive and balanced? If you're not taking these aspects of life seriously, there is a higher probability that you may be the elderly person who has to move into a care home. If you are a family caregiver, how high on your elderly parents' priority list is staying physically healthy, active, and mentally positive? These are practical discussions to have, practical questions to ask. While unexpected health issues can arise, being proactive with health and financial planning goes a long way toward maintaining independence and being able to live at home without assistance when older. If your elderly parent or spouse has health issues that require your assistance and increasing amounts of your assistance, while they can demand or expect you to be their caregiver to allow them to stay at home, how practical is this with the time commitment and the effect of the effort you put into caregiving on your life? As the caregiver, is your health, marriage, career, family, and personal life suffering? Why should caregivers not be able to prioritize focusing on physical and mental health so that they can live independently when older and not be a burden to family? The ability and interest to maintain physical and emotional health are essential family caregiving strategies that should not be ignored or delayed in discussing. In the 25 years I've worked as a caregiving expert and advisor, not many of my clients have told me that they look forward to going to a care home if they can no longer care for themselves. Here's the difference. My clients or individuals who plan for aging and retirement choose to become more educated about health, costs of care, and saving or investing money to cover the potential costs of care. They choose to pay more attention to their physical and emotional health because most of these individuals do not want to be a burden on their spouse or children. If you are a caregiver or an older adult, how much thought have you given to caregiving strategies for yourself? Many individuals don't plan for aging and retirement. Instead, they live their lives for today, never thinking about the importance of saving or investing for retirement, or considering that health will change and bodies will age. These elderly parents or spouses who don't plan often expect their children or spouses to take on the role of their caregiver. Family caregiving strategies related to aging highlight the differences between individuals who want and choose to live independent and self-sufficient lives versus those who expect and rely on family members to care for them throughout their lives. This is not to say that being independent or being dependent is good or bad. These differences arise from where a person is born, the family they are born into, the roles of parent and child relationships, family cultures and expectation, peers and the people one spends the most time with, as well as education, work or career, and societal beliefs. Creating family caregiving strategies and planning is a choice. If you haven't begun to create a family caregiving strategy for yourself or an elderly parent, I strongly suggest starting these discussions in your family. Now, let's look at the other side. The guilt that a spouse or an adult child caregiver feels when thinking about moving an elderly loved one into a care home. Being a caregiver is a lot of work, and it can be emotionally draining and overwhelming. Elderly persons with health problems and their caregivers can both feel overwhelmed and unable to see a way out of any situation. Some do see the way out, but they don't want to make the effort or the choice to move ahead due to fear or potential negative responses from the other person. There's always a reason why something won't work or can't be done, even though there are reasons why things will work and can be done. Caregivers might stay frozen in fear or worry because the choices ahead have unknown or feared consequences. This is normal. It's part of life. No one can predict the future. Staying frozen, stuck, or living in fear is not a solution. It's not living. It's barely surviving. Being in this emotional state puts a lot of mental, emotional, and physical stress on the body, which is why caregivers often become sick and feel emotionally drained and exhausted. If you are a caregiver, think about this. Your actions didn't result in your parent or spouse's situation today. They're having poor health. They're not having money to pay for care. Their actions and choices delivered the situation they find themselves in today. Your actions influence the way you feel today. If you're drained, how are your actions contributing to your mental and physical exhaustion? While you may feel that being a caregiver is a duty and a responsibility, where is your duty and responsibility to care for yourself and your family? Relationships with elderly parents can stem from early parent-child relationships, positive or negative. Did your parents encourage you and bring you up to be independent and self-sufficient? Or did they make you feel guilty, rarely support your wishes, constantly criticize you, or make you feel that you could never do enough to gain their approval? Consider this. Your upbringing, to some extent, has shaped who you are today and how you respond to life circumstances and outcomes. The results in your life are either your responsibility, or maybe you blame them on other people and expect others to pick up the pieces. These behaviors in either direction can be modeled by parents that their young children carry forward into adulthood. Parents who didn't model positive habits of self-sufficiency, independence, learning, and education, those who failed to focus on health and well-being, or others who used substances, likely were not good role models for their children. These adult children are more likely to be swept into family drama and expectations because they never learned to stand up for themselves and their needs. To what degree are your elderly parents placing the results of their health and care needs on you? For elderly parents or individuals with unlimited financial resources, let's be honest, life is easier. These individuals can pay for care rather than relying on family members. But the reality is that most people have limited financial resources. Being healthy costs money. Accessing health care costs money. Having poor health and being sick costs money. And if you or your parents don't have the financial means to pay for care, then there is Medicaid, a program in every state that goes by different names for low income and elderly who can't care for themselves. Investigating, learning about, and planning for Medicaid is a family caregiving strategy. If your parents didn't plan financially to pay for their care in old age, the outcome may be that they have to move into a care home. This decision should not be viewed as right or wrong. It's simply a fact. Sometimes there are no easy answers or choices when parents have health problems and there's no money to pay for care. If you're a spouse, are you a spouse creating a situation of financial poverty for yourself with the unknown and stress of how you will support yourself after you give everything, including all the family money, to care for a husband or wife? Or are you a caregiver making practical and hard decisions about what you can or cannot do because of the negative effects on your life? These decisions and family caregiving strategies that you create will impact the outcome of your life today and in the years to come if you are the caregiver. In response to, should I put a parent in a care home against their wishes, you're the only one who can answer the question. Should you feel guilty? Did you create family caregiving strategies for the care of loved ones, or is this something you never considered possible? If you never considered it possible, have these discussions today. Then think about, what advice would you give to a best friend in this situation? What expectations do you have for your children who eventually might be your caregivers? What would you tell your spouse who might have to decide to put you in a care home if they can't take care of you physically and emotionally because of your health problems? It's a lot to think about. If you are a caregiver, an adult, an older adult, start thinking about these questions for yourself so that when the time comes, you will have a caregiving strategy for the outcome that you want. If you are a caregiver, initiate family caregiving strategy discussions with your spouse, with your family members, with the person you care for. It's never too early to consider what might happen in the future and have a plan in place for aging and the health issues that come with aging. It's never too early to have family discussions about caregiving. I'm Pamela D. Wilson, a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker on the Caring Generation. Thank you for joining me for episode 222, Family Caregiver Strategies, Putting an Elderly Parent in a Care Home. To view the show transcript and the video that accompanies this podcast episode, go to PamelaDWilson.com, click on the Media tab, and then select the Caring Generation. Scroll down to episode 222, and while you're there, check out the other 221 episodes. I look forward to being with you all again soon. God bless you all. Sleep well tonight. Have a fabulous day tomorrow and enjoy each day until we are here together again.
Tune in each week for The Caring Generation with host Pamela D. Wilson. Come join the conversation and see how Pamela can provide solutions and peace of mind for everyone. Here on Pamela D. Wilson's The Caring Generation.